at some point going to come and haunt us, and that day is not too far off. So guys, it's all of our social responsibility to make this noise louder and louder. And I think taxing the same people again and again and again is not the way around it. I think we need to go into sectors that have not been taxed. There's been a lot of talk about agriculture tax. There are some other sectors that are not taxed. And let's have equality in the system. I think this argument that I won't pay my taxes because I don't see any benefit out of it, I think it's a very lame argument, I'm sorry to say. So I think that fiscal balance has to be. And I think another short-term measure is security situation. Anytime, especially with foreign investment, which whether we like it or not, we are relying on that. And for that, you need to have a stable environment. Touch wood, we are in a much better position right now in terms of the law and order situation, but we need to make sure that we can give a stable law and order situation. And with fiscal gaps, you will deal with inflation, you're going to deal with circular debt, you're going to deal with a lot of those things. So those are the short-term things that I think they need to do. As far as the medium term, I think we need to start looking at it. What is our USP as a country? And I think in this whole commodity crisis and what's happening with the rest of the world, I think agriculture is our backbone, and I think we need to fully monetize on that asset and make sure that we become best at what we do on the agriculture side. With that, you will have exports, you're going to have a lot of things. So I think we need to find ways to how we can further enhance the yield from this agriculture belt that we have. We need to invest, as I said, in the medium term into our industrial. How do we prompt and enhance and increase the growth of our industrial sector? And I think that has to be done while we are also taking full advantage of the natural resources this country has, which are sitting under the ground, which we have not done much about. So I think these are some medium-term things. They will help us solve our energy crisis in the medium term. So I think that is something that we need to really look into on a medium-term basis. And again, the governance thing I'm talking about, and somebody may ask the question as they were asking Hussain Bhai about how do you teach ethics and what do you do with that? It's a paradigm shift, right? It may take time, but at least let's start seeing some of those coming in place. But a paradigm shift on the thing, and take ownership of our own things. I think if we all take ownership of what we are trying to do as individuals, hopefully we will see some of that. So,
thanks. Another one, Harun, especially since you are in the consumer segment as well, and also exposed to the public sector. What we have seen is that every year we see a surprise package coming from the government towards us, and it's mostly on the negative side. So in this unpredictable environment, and we have a lot of CFOs and business leaders here who have to think ahead, plan ahead for next year and the years to come. How can you build in some buffers in your business plan, in your budgets or forecasts for such surprises? I mean, in your own assessment, when you are making your budgets for next year, how much sales you are going to do, how much to the public sector, private sector, your receivables, is there any way that you can plan for such in eventualities, so that it doesn't hit you?
Building buffers for uncertainties is a major question. And to evaluate the quantum of buffer, you need to also first evaluate the amount of uncertainty. And that is huge in present times in the environment we are sitting in. So in this situation, the only thing is to be as conservative as possible. And I think that is the only way to build buffers to precisely answer your question. But in terms of what package or the federal budget we all are expecting, one expectation of ours, and generally from the industry, I would definitely like to convey here to people whoever can play a role. You see, when we compare our competitiveness versus foreign manufacturers for whether domestic appliances or electrical capital goods, we do have a major advantage, and like what Shehzad has said, that is our USP for our country, our low labor cost. We have got technology for one of our power products from a Western European country, and we had sent our 24 workers for training. And the comment we received from them was, after having provided the proper kind of training, the skill level of these people is not less than what it is in Western Europe, despite our bad education standards and all those things. So this is the USP. When we compare our labor cost, here a worker costing us 20,000 rupees, who is usually a skilled worker, 20,000 rupees a month, costs us about €1 per man hour based on 200 working hours per month. So €1 per man hour here versus €7 per man hour in the Eastern Europe, in countries like Hungary and others, and over €30 in the Western Europe is the labor cost comparison. So that is the advantage we have. The major disadvantage we have versus all of our competitors when we look at our production costs is frankly the financial cost. And that financial cost is primarily because of high interest rates and maybe because of the capital structure of some of our companies, which are the individual problems. But when we talk of financial costs, luckily Dr. Ishrat Hussain Saab is also here, our ex-Governor State Bank. I fail to understand how this high interest rate can control oil prices driven inflation. I have asked this question to quite a few ex-foreign ministers and governors of State Bank. Unfortunately, these people are difficult to be approached when they are in the offices. And every time the answer I have received is pressure from IMF and no hard work being done by our functionaries to persuade them to explain the realities on ground, the size of our parallel economy which is pushing our inflation and all those things. You see, our domestic appliances market, I have said, is still growing despite all the consumer finance being dried up in the last year or so. So this is one major suggestion, to look at the interest rates in our country. And I personally feel in the industries where we have advantage like the labor cost, the comparison I have made, and these companies are subjected to high interest rates under pressures of, I don't know, IMF or whom, it is like subjecting some person continuously to high blood pressure or something like that, due to which his competitiveness might get impaired forever. Like the person might lose his eyesight or something by having a continuous high blood pressure. So this is like subjecting our manufacturing organizations with the high interest rates. Governance, of course, this is a huge subject. We can continue talking. So that needs to be fixed. So these are the two major suggestions.
Thank you. Thank you, Arun sir. We will be opening the floor for question and answer sessions very soon, so please be prepared for that. Any comments before we open the floor for Q&A?
I think while we are waiting for any questions, if you can just summarize whether it's when we talk about power, we talk about electricity, and we talk about many other things. I think the solution is, we have tried this for years and years. We need to give it to the right people who can do the job. Just quoting our example, Ufone was 100% government-owned company when we launched this back in '99. There were professional people. We had a professional chairman, and he managed to bring a professional team. Despite the fact that it was 100% government, we managed to grow. Later it was taken over, management control was taken over by E.T. Salat, but still they are keeping the same management which started this company. And Alhamdulillah, I have no hesitation in admitting that we have paid back the initial investment. The company is worth far more, better than what a normal 100% government owned company is. So if we can have 20 or 30 Ufone in Pakistan for the power thing and for other areas, I think we have the right human resources. So we just need to capitalize on the right resources, give it to the people who can manage, and every other business will get the support. Because if you today ask any businessman, he will complain about the power issue, he'll complain about this and complain about that. And if all those areas whether it's gas or power, is given to the professional people to sort of handle it, there should be no issue. We have, like, Dr. Ishar Saab is sitting here, State Bank